Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here once again on All Too Well Read. Hmm.
Woo-hoo-hoo. This is a very exciting episode because it's different. We're not really focusing on books today. We are focusing on, this cute little new endeavor that I'm starting to push out. I've been working on it. I guess I've been hinting at it. I want to say the last couple of months that I've been like rebranding my website and redoing all of my things, and now it's finally ready to like be shown to the world. And Chris is just so gracious enough for me to use her as my little show pony into like kind of the new things that I'm diving into, which is cosmic creativity. It's one of my new offerings that I have on my site. And I mean, as we don't dive too deeply into a lot of my astrology, human design stuff on the pod, but if you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I guess I posted a little funny. I'll have to show you, Chris. I'll have to show you the thing that I posted on TikTok yesterday for the solstice. But anyway, I my roots and like my yeah, I guess I would say my roots is in astrology and human design. That's where I used to coach clients and, do energy healing and all of this different stuff around like really understanding your cosmic blueprint and how you're meant to operate in the world. It's like totally radically changed my life. And this time last year, it was just like a really interesting I was in a really interesting time. Chris and I went on our book trip and we were both in like the biggest creative ruts we've ever been in. And when I got back, of course, we're like high on life. Like, so, you know, just loving everything because we got to be together in person for a few days and like in a new place and finish Kingdom of Ash. So, like, we were riding high. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to whip out my tools, but I'm just going to look at them differently. And I decided to look at human design and astrology through the creative lens and start to develop practices and tools to like help me tap into my inner creative. And I created routines and structures around and, created the space so I could start being creative again. And that turned into me deciding to write fiction and now be, as of this morning, 105,000 words into my work of progress, which is
Yay.
fucking nuts. Which is nuts. So I was like, I did this for me. I would love to, because I feel like creatives, it's one of our, it's like one of the biggest things you hear. Like, I just feel so blocked. I feel so uninspired. I don't know how to, like tap back into myself. And so much of it, I think in being a creative is also like tapping into your intuition and your energy and just knowing how you are meant to create and how you're meant to move and flow and how it's going to look so different from everybody else. And so, yeah, I created this offering called Cosmic Creativity where I dive into your astrology and human design placements to help you come up with practices and routines and structures around how you're meant to create. And it's meant to really help you create with more ease and more flow and feel more inspired. So you're not constantly like pushing against the current. So Chris gets to be on the hot seat today.
I love being in the hot seat and I love being the show pony. I'm so ready. I
Yay!
love this self-awareness
Yeah,
moment.
I'm so grateful. I'm really, really grateful because you're like my first. I mean, I've done this for myself. I've done this for clients in the past. But this is like my first of like really diving in. I created my little PDF for you. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so fun. That all my clients will get, of course.
Mhm.
But first, I guess before we jump in, I kind of want to hear from you.
Mhm.
Um, just to really understand, where you've been at in your creative practice, things that you've been moving through, feeling, what you want to really understand about yourself and get out of this, and your intention behind really, besides helping me helping me out, your intentions really behind like why we want to really foster this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, going back to that trip, there was some like magic that happened just being able to like talk to you and be together and have this like culminating moment of us having our year of books, that somehow shifted something in both of us, I think. And so going into 2025, I really wanted to lean into more of my creative self, both picking up things that I used to spend a lot of time in or like practice in, and then also like acquire new creative outlets. And so I think the biggest thing for me is that I have been feeling creatively blocked. Like I've had the desire for like a more creative like lifestyle, but I've been feeling very blocked in that. And I think a big part of it is because I know what it has looked like for me. And I know the periods of time where I've flourished in my creativity, if you will. And so I'm constantly like looking back towards those moments in my life where I had that. And so it's almost like I feel like I have to adapt and acquire and like go find that and put it on like an outfit. And like maybe it's about understanding that I'm just in a different season of life now. And like my creativity or my creative way doesn't have to look the same way, because every time I try to intentionally operate in that way, I'm feeling frustrated, or it's like coming with a sense of like baggage or like shame or just like a heaviness of just feeling like I'm not who I used to be, and like now I'm sad and just like I want, I guess like I don't know if we're getting ahead, but I want to enter creativity that's like more playful and like lighter and brings like joy and wonder and enchantment rather than feeling akin to like this like melancholy, like everything has to be so beautiful and meaningful all the damn time. Otherwise, who am I? And like, what am I here for? And like, if it doesn't have so much depth of meaning, like, I don't want it. And I don't know if I have to do that. So,
I'm so excited. I have chills. Because I mean, your little Pisces heart, we want to dive so deep. You know what I mean? But yes, we get to. It really is about having fun, and like truly, that is how you're meant to create, with this like feeling of just flow and adventure and fun, and just yeah, like letting it be light again. And I pulled some tarot just before, just to understand kind of like where you were at as well, and help me focus on like what I wanted to really get into in terms of your placements. And yeah, like it just seems like we have the Page of Swords here, so it's like you have so much excitement and like almost like words at the tip of your tongue, but like it seems like this past version of you, it's almost like kind of like haunting you, like whether it was like this version that like felt like she had it all together, or things that you tried in the past, and like it's like you're almost holding yourself back and like just feeling more safe in your cocoon, but you're actually like so much more meant to like. And I think we got activated so well together because you're meant to creating community. So
mm,
like you like, instead of like being, I have the Hermit reversed here, it's like the Hermit is all about like going inward, like really like taking your time, but it's like it's actually like really time for you to come out of your cage because you are doing just fine. And so with all that being said, let's dive in.
okay.
Okay. So, how I like to go about this and why I focus on astrology and human design, because astrology likes to tell me what we're coming in the world with, what we're working with, right? And human design then tells me how to work with it. So I want to start, which is so interesting because I like to focus on the third house and the fifth house, because it's like the third house is like how you communicate, your communication style, community, and your fifth house is creativity, and your sun, Venus, and moon are all in your third and fifth house. So girl, naturally, you're hella creative, like very, very, very creative. Your sun is in Pisces in your third house. So, right here,
Okay.
right on the tail end of Pisces season, my little almost cusper baby. So in their next life, you probably won't be Pisces anymore. You'll be starting over. This is like, you're like, I'm done. I've learned this. I've been through enough. But in your third house, you are really meant to communicate from the soul. And I'm gonna laugh at this next part, and I hope you laugh too, because your creativity really flows from the act of storytelling, poetry, songwriting, and intuitive downloads. Like, it reminds me of when you went to that conference and you came back and you're like, I'm gonna do the spoken word. Like, it like that is really like, it is so much, you are really meant to like communicate through your feelings, how you feel, and like, instead of getting so in your head, like, again, like, the Page of Swords is really like, we're trying to intellectualize everything and understand like maybe why we're feeling the things, and like, you're just meant to like just truly riff. So like,
Mm,
for this placement, like, you are really meant to like journal, riff out loud, write in a dreamy and expressive way. Like, when you're feeling blocked, it's because you're trying to think too logically and like be too linear. And like,
mm.
Pisces really wants you to just get hella dreamy, really wordy, really poetic, and like, let it not make sense. Like, let it be messy and feely. And so, whether that's starting to like, and like, yeah, maybe if it's like you're having a hard time, like if your words are moving too fast, because not to jump ahead, your Mercury is in Aries. So we're going to get to that. But like, if the words aren't for whatever reason like coming down on the pen, maybe that's typing with your thumbs on a voice note, because like that moves so much faster. I'm sorry, on your notes. Maybe
Mm,
it's whipping out your voice memo app and just like literally letting yourself talk out loud. Like,
mm.
there's truly like this part of you that is just meant to just express so unfiltered. And I think that's maybe why, like, when you're in a doc and like you're trying to like write your Substack, it's just like we're trying to edit instead of and filter ourselves, when actually the words just need to flow out of you first.
Yeah.
Super unedited, unapologetic, and just directly from the soul.
Mm. Yeah. That makes so much sense because I think one, I've been like approaching writing right now as like really just wanting it to like be perfectly polished and like using the best language possible. And I used to journal a lot, like, the old fashioned like Dear Diary way. Just like a mishmash of stuff would come out, but things would come out at a more rapid pace. It was just like all over the place. Yeah, I think I've just been like trying to, like, you're right, like intellectualize and like make everything perfect, or like a perfectionistic lens, or just like putting a lot of pressure, or being like, how do I create discipline specifically and like practice and like make it more like a homework
I can't
assignment.
wait, because your human design is like no structure, no, no routine, no. So I can't wait, and that's probably why it's been feeling so sticky, because like you're
Yeah.
trying to like make it a formula when it's not meant to be at all. Does
Which
that
is
make
so
sense?
interesting because personality-wise and, like, how my brain works, like, it doesn't make sense because 'cause I'm very particular and, like, lists and organization, and so it feels like that's naturally, like, the way that it should all be, like, coming from, but it's not working at all. 'Cause I am not a spontaneous girl, like, throw me for a loop, I get very stressed at change and all these things, so the idea of, you know, creatively, like, working in a mode that's a little bit, like, loose and free and flowy, it just doesn't feel like, it feels, like, weird, but, like, in
Totally.
a good way, I guess.
Totally. Well, going into your moon sign placement, this is where, because like this is where we get to create safety around that, right? Because I
Okay.
think there's a difference between like, I think we crave the structure and the routine and the formula because we want to create in a safe way. Like, we
Mm,
want to feel safe and secure and grounded, while the big ideas and emotions, because you create from a very emotionally depth place, we're creating from such a deeply rooted place that we need to still, it can feel very intense. It can feel like a lot while all
Yeah.
those emotions are coming up and feelings and words and thoughts, and especially your greatest sense in human design is inner vision. So you're seeing a lot of visions and it's bringing up a lot of emotions and feelings. And so I think create like we you want to create and like and have those routines and structures because those help you feel safe.
Mm.
However, your moon now, your moon sign right here is in Taurus in the fifth house. So the fifth house is all about creativity, self expression. However, Taurus is about comfort, beauty, grounded. It's like it's ruled by Venus. It's like luxury earth sign. So, like, think creating incredibly cozy spaces for you to create in. So that's like your cute little coffee cup that you have right now. Maybe it's lighting some candles. Maybe like painting is a really big like theme that comes up for here for you as well. Like creating playlists and music. Like maybe it's listening to the same like music while you go to write, having the snacks there, comfy clothes. It's a way for you to like, instead of, so you can feel more creatively free, almost help create that safety without having like rigid structure and routine around your creativity.
Yeah.
Because you are meant to be, and maybe like, yeah, in other areas of life, when we have to get things done, create the lists. You know what I mean? Create the lists, be organized. But when it comes to your creativity, it is meant to be more fun and fluid and very off the cuff. It's
Mm.
very what's on your soul at the time. You are very much you're truly like the artist that has like that needs the muse. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You were inspired by like the people and the places and the things around you. And in order to do that, and like because all of that is so out of your control, in order to create that safety and grounded place and to nurture that moon sign, because your moon sign is all about it's your emotional self, it's your inner self, it's the self that like again it really again obviously goes so deeply into your creativity, while your sun sign is your ego, your I like to call it your north star because it's just like your personality, it's your aura. Your moon side is your inner self, and that's the self that like we're really working with when it comes to creating and writing and really tapping into that creative energy. And so when you start to create these spaces and these moments where yeah, maybe we create a really like think like soft girl era playlist, like you listen to those 4K ambiance. I'm going to get to this because of course your human design environment is shores. So maybe so maybe it's like you listen to 4K ambiance with like ocean music and like the oceans in the background, and you light like sea breeze candles, and you get in like really like not like nice pajamas, like silky pajamas
Mm.
that like make you feel like really good and like pretty, and you have your pretty teacup and you have like your croissant, like you create a space that feels really comfortable so your ideas and your mind can wander and you can really let yourself get lost in the moment without feeling like it's getting out of control. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah, totally. And while you were talking too, I was thinking about how when I look like back at like old creative me that I've spent too much time trying to like long for, I
Mhm.
think because it's like coming from like an emotional place and stuff like that, I can articulate that those times where I was super creative, I was also going through really hard things, like really hard things. And so there's like this weird thing in me that I feel like I have to like replicate this like angsty melancholy, like rainy day, like depressing, like
Yeah.
and so and I'm just not there anymore. And so to think about new ways to like create a creative environment, I guess, or like do the things you were saying, like the cozy pajamas or the, you know, just to like find excitement too in like what my
Mhm.
season is now and like use that as like the inspiration or like the outlook rather than this girl who's
Yeah,
like
like, and needing to, like, physically bring yourself through a dark night of the soul in order to, like, untap
exactly.
very, like, visceral emotions. Totally.
Mhm.
Totally, totally, totally.
So it's like
There's a
I
yeah, we don't need to, like, put ourselves through the fucking ringer,
yeah,
every time we need to create, and that's why hopefully, like yeah, that's why we need to really learn how to orchestrate, like, how to work with our energy, like, okay,
yeah,
like, yes, when we were going through, like, those very, like, viscerally, like, unwell, unstable times, we had all this shit coming up, so it was, like, right at the surface,
yeah,
right? And you don't need to be the I don't even wanna call it, like because it's not like starving artists, but it's just, like, existential
exactly.
crisis
Yeah,
artist, right? Like, the artist that, like, needs to be in chaos in order to, like, bring about that sense of energy, like, you really are here to live a comfortable life, right? Like, Taurus craves, like, comfort and stability, and so, like, for you, it's like, okay, like, I don't need to, like, put myself through the emotional ringer every time, but I can bring myself into places where I can start to feel into different things and, like, let my emotions go there while knowing I'm still safe,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
totally.
Especially because your Mercury is in Aries in the 3rd house. So, right here in your
Okay.
3rd house. So, again, your Sun and Mercury being in the 3rd house, again, it's all about communication, and Aries is really interesting because for my little watery, earthly goddess that you are actually meant to speak really boldly. Like
Mm,
your ideas come in hot and fast. And so you really are best when you let your creative sparks come on quickly and act in the moment and
mhm,
immediately. And there's so much power in your voice. And even with your Sagittarius rising as well, a fire sign, like you really are here. Like, and that's to me, like your rising is so funny because, like, obviously you're such a reader and, knowledge and truth. And like Sagittarian is all about really being that truth seeker. And I think when you just describe like going through your existential crisis of like moments and or even intellectualizing all of your like how to be creative and just like finding the deeper meaning and like that's so Sagittarian. Like they want to just they crave the truth and like they
mm,
crave just like the knowledge and like the deeper meaning behind everything. And so like your Aries, I feel like can really come in here and just remind yourself it's like as much as like your Taurus, I feel like it all like you really just are able to like learning how to balance out yourself well because your Taurus craves like those slow comfort cozy mornings, right? But your voice and how actually your voice is activated is through those like moments of passion, like fiery, quick, bold, like you're here to again speak so unfiltered. And
mm,
Aries is ruled by Mars, so very like like aggressive, hot, loud. Like you really are here to just when you have that spark, run with it.
mm,
Don't overthink it. You can't intellectualize it. And that's why, again, creating those safe spaces and really like allowing your emotions to come through can really help ground your like fiery voice. So, like, this is stream of conscious writing, maybe setting like a timer for like 5 minutes and just like quickly writing down every single, if you want to like brain dump an idea, like really letting it get messy, stop editing yourself and like really just and then later on seeing like what comes through and then you can peek through and like understand what you were maybe trying to go with. But like what I'm seeing is like artists that like throw paint at a canvas, like
yeah,
truly they're throwing like yellows and greens and blues and like it looks like a mess and it doesn't make any fucking sense. And then all of a sudden like then they go back and they're like they draw this like beautiful fucking thing on top of it and it's like holy shit.
mhm,
That's like what your creative process is like screaming out to me. It's like
Mm,
letting it be the messiest it can possibly be. And then you go back and you find the beauty in the mess.
mm,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
How does that feel?
I think it feels exciting and it feels I don't know if I've ever done that before. So it sounds like thrilling, but it also sounds like the way to get out of my way right now because
Yes.
it's completely different from how I'm approaching art and writing and things like that right now, which isn't working. So to just like completely like be loose and wild, I guess.
Like it's giving like wild woman like coming out of her cave, and she's really just like allowing herself to get really messy. And
Yeah.
I think it's really going to help you again, because I feel like there's that inner critic and that
Mhm.
editor and like that judge that kind of like again is like looming over you when it comes to using your voice and speaking your truth. And your chiron, which is it's the wounded healer, it's kind of like the wounds we come through and like the lessons that we're really here to like move through in this time. It's in Cancer in the 7th house. So like your some of your deepest wounds comes to is really when it comes to connection and being seen and supported and
Mhm.
safe in your relationships. So there might be a fear of sharing your work and letting others see this inner world, this messier side of you, the girl that isn't perfect and proper and all the things that, society wants her to be, right? And so
Yeah.
that's why there's this need, at least especially when it comes to your creativity, you need to create for you first.
Yeah.
Knowing that you like your art and your words, they are for you first. And then when you feel safe, when you find the people in your life that you feel safest with, you you let them in.
Mhm.
Right. And the more that, again, and especially again with your Sagittarius writing rising, you are so emotionally fulfilled when you're creating something beautiful and personal. You need comfort, you need safety, you need sensuality in your creative space. So like again, like it's those cozy rituals. It's knowing that like you are meant to be on an adventure. Sagittarius is all about travel and like higher learning and like really just like living through your experiences. And that's why it's so funny that even you say like, in the past you created from these like very like emotionally charged places. Cause I think like there is a version of you, it's like, oh, well, like this is like where, life comes from experiencing, right? And like every emotion and every when we're writing and all that, like that all comes through lived experience. And you know they say best like write what you know. And so of course I think like then and even some of the girlies right now are like, we're doing it for the plot. A part of I think a part of you in the past when we didn't know how to regulate our emotions, and like we just our 20s were meant to be in a very ungrounded place. Let's just be for real. We were living for the plot. Now I feel like you're in this stage of your life where it's like, okay, I can access these emotions. I'm no longer in survival anymore, and I can create the safety and like I can create the safe container within myself to tap into some of these messier places within me in order to express them and feel so me and be able to share that with the
Right.
world while
Yeah.
still feeling safe and secure and so like deeply at home within yourself. Because now, so that's the astrology. So that's kind of what we're working with.
Yeah.
And in human design, I like to bring the two together because human design like really shows us how to work with this set energy, right? And so there's 5 types in human design. You are a generator, which means that you are meant to respond to life around you.
Mhm.
Like you have this activated sacral energy. Sorry, I'm like right here. And of course, you have a divine throat. Obviously, obviously, obviously. So I'm like, she's a writer. You have a divine throat and a defined sense of self and very rooted. So but of course, your mind is so open, which is where all the ideas come in. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, you are not here to push or initiate from the mind. You are here to thrive when you are responding to life around you and what lights you up. Because you have this unlimited energy in your sacral, meaning that like you have this sacral energy where you can work for 10 to 15 hours on something and not get tired of it as long as you are lit up. Like you are like just truly like the engine that keeps the world moving. And some people and like industries can really take advantage of that, right? Like, cause you can really like grind your gears and just get fucking going. However, you are here to only use this energy for what lights you up. And you know that through your guttural response. So when you are like truly like allowing yourself, so when you're starting to create these different practices or you're responding to people or opportunities, you will feel in your guts, literally in your stomach, what is a yes and what is a no. And just because you get a no doesn't mean it's a no forever, but it's just a no right now. So like, for example, because not to jump ahead, but we're going to a little bit, your environment, which I think is huge in terms of how we're meant to create. Because, like, for me, my environment is caves. So, like, I mean, I'm in my own little lady cave right now. As my mom actually coined her lady cave, and then I took it, and now I've created my own little 500 square feet lady cave. But like it's truly it's all Megan, and it's for me as caves. Like I control who comes in and out. It's very safe. It's very secure. Like it's all me and my energy. And for you, of course, yours is shores. And so it's, of course, it's like the beach, but also it's where two worlds come together. And like, so for you being in a coffee shop and like being able to look outside or sitting in your office and look out the window outside, or yes, being in a coffee shop and just seeing the people around you, or maybe it's and it depends, you're going to use your authority on what feels good for you that day. So
Mhm.
maybe it's like creating like with the candles and putting the 4K ambiance of like ocean sounds on, and you're like in your vibe. Maybe that's what you get a yes on today. Or if you're like, you know what, like I think I need to like be out in the world, maybe we go to the cafe, maybe we go to a co-working space, maybe we go to the brewery, or like maybe we like, so you can be like stimulated and respond to the world around you, because
Yeah.
like you being activated by your sacral is really going to help light up your voice, like everything, like who you are. Like you really just get stimulated by saying and like letting inspiration come to you. Like you don't have to force. Have you ever watched Music and Lyrics?
Yes, I love that movie.
Okay, it's my favorite movie. Okay, so it's my favorite movie of all time. Okay, so remember how Drew Barrymore, they're like sitting in his piano room, and they're like literally dying. They've been like trying to write forever. And she's like, I need to get out. Like, I need to like talk to people and just like let the world like come to me. That is how you're meant to create as well. Like you are meant to let inspiration to come to you, and not push and force creation to happen. So you
Mm.
respond to beauty, ideas, conversation, and art that excites you. So like the artist dates, for example, that are in the artist way are a huge tool for you, again, to get out of your own way and let inspiration come to you and let yourself respond to the beauty around you. Again, that Taurus moon is like really just so lit up by like physical beauty and comfort, smells, tastes, like just like all of the tangible ways of like feeling and like experiencing beauty around you.
That totally is accurate because I will say, okay, every day at 7, I'm going to sit on this couch and I'm going to be creative. And it does very much feel like Hugh Grant. They're just like, ugh. But then I'll go on a walk and I'll just be on a walk and I'll be like, oh, I have all these ideas all of a sudden. Or like, I always feel like going when I do go to a coffee shop, there's more that stirs in me. So, yeah,
A
totally.
100%. You need to give yourself an opportunity for your sacral to respond to something.
Yeah.
anything, right? And so like, yeah, and that's when like back to astrology, like when you're on the walk and like you start to have all these ideas come to you, whip out your fucking notes app, girl, or whip out your memo app and just start talking out loud and
Yeah.
let that shit come through because it's when that inspiration comes, you are meant to like act on it and just jot it down and let it again be messy. And then maybe later you have your little like sit on the couch, light the candles moment and like refine and like dive deeper into and maybe brainstorm and like get more granular into that. But like if you don't let yourself have anything to respond to, you don't let your like sacral be activated by anything, nothing's gonna happen. And that's when we're going to feel stuck and stagnant. So, like, you just letting yourself respond to life is huge, 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 huge. I'm so excited. Okay. Especially because, again, because I feel like you're just like this very well balanced machine, your greatest sense and like, and when it comes to how you are moving through the world is actually your inner vision, which obviously makes sense. You're a fucking Pisces. You're living in your head. So, like, your creativity does, again, when you let yourself respond to the world around you, you start to see the scenes, the emotions, the experiencing, and like your daydream imagination really starts to become alive.
Mhm.
So, like, again, using your authority, right? And your strategy of responding, start to create the vision boards, the dreamy playlists, listen to those guided meditations, spend time visualizing your art, and like just letting your inner world start to guide you. And then the words can come,
Mhm.
right? But it's like
Mhm.
letting all of these different aspects of like the artistry and who you are, like really have them take their time, right? How does that feel?
Yesterday, I wrote a summer bucket list, and it included make a summer playlist. It included make a summer Pinterest board. And then today, like this morning, I really wanted to like be present and like not come to this conversation like after watching like hours of TV. So I like purposely like listened to music and like did these things. So it's just like funny how like you're bringing like some of these like ideas or examples up, and I feel like already like the past few just like in the past 24 hours these whispers have been like happening, you know?
Yeah. Because, like, of course, because you're like a hella intuitive high priestess, creative goddess, duh. Like, because everything happens in divine timing, obviously, obviously. But this makes me so happy because, like, and that's like what these readings are all about, right? And like,
Yeah.
this is really here to be like, oh yeah, wait, these things that I'm coming up with already, like on my own, so naturally, like I don't have to like, I'm already like, there's a part of me that already knows. I just like, for whatever reason, like, we're so conditioned to like, I need to wake up at 5 a.m. and like plan out hour by hour. And some people are, just not you. Just not you. Like, we all are here to just operate so differently.
Yeah.
And because we're just like such intuitive little besties, I'm sure that like we knew this was coming, feeling your energy. And yeah, of course. Of course, you wrote a little bucket list of all the things that like are going to feel really good for you, right?
Yeah.
And that makes me so, 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 so happy. So happy. Okay. Our last two things, I dove into a little bit of this.
Mhm.
Artificial shores is your environment. So, again, like I really like to, when we are feeling like nothing else is working for whatever reason, I think environment is so important and
Mm.
like really honing in on your environment. And so, artificial shores is you are the most inspired when two worlds meet. So again, think of a shoreline. We have the earth meeting the ocean, right? So of course this can be, yeah, girl, you definitely need your fucking beach day. Go to get your ass to the beach. Go find yourself, like have your moment. But also it really is having two worlds collide. So like places like balconies, patios,
Mm.
cafes, like the edge of the forest, like So it's like,
Mhm.
even like a backyard with like grass and then like there's forest in the back. Like again, like a desk out, like looking out a window. So you have like your inside space meeting like the world outside of you, right?
Mm.
It's really like having these two worlds collide and come together that just there's something in it that feels so good, especially too with your greatest sense being inner vision. You're kind of already intuitively like when you are in one space, you're living in here. So it's like having those two worlds collide then on your exterior just helps feel really, really good and really safe for that inner vision to kind of come out and kind of
Yeah.
come to life a little bit, which is really interesting. And then again, and so now the last thing we're going to talk about in human design is your arrows. So that's these little arrows up here. And they just really help understand digestion and again, environment, perspective, and manifestation, but like kind of like practices and tools that make the most sense for you. So like your top left of digestion and all of the left and right arrows being like passive or like active, which
Mm.
is why then when we go to routine and structure, you have more passive arrows, meaning that you really are actually thrive more in the fluid rather than it being very like rigid and regimented. So like your top left arrow of digestion being right, you really take inspiration passively. Like your best ideas come when you're relaxed, not forcing it. Walks, baths, people watching are your superpowers.
Mm.
Your environment, again, very fluid, flexible spaces. Too much structure can block your flow. So again, you waking up at 7 a.m. and being, I'm going to sit my ass on this couch and be creative isn't going to work. You're going to check in every day and be like, okay, what is my like feel into your gut, literally hands on tummy, and just be like, okay, where do I want to create today? Maybe that is on the couch, but maybe that's from the coffee shop. Maybe that's out like on your front porch.
Mhm.
Of course, that's right. You have a fucking front porch. That's perfect. It's perfect for you. Sorry. So yeah, maybe it's on your porch. Maybe it's at the cafe. Like letting yourself giving yourself permission to just be fluid with where the creativity wants to come from today. Then your perspective, we want to think in themes of abstract visions, right? We're not getting like we're not zooming in on the details. We really like you're really here to have big like very big visions, and however, the only thing that we do want to get crystal clear on is manifesting. While everything else can be very fluid, like your routines and structure, especially like the things that you eat. You don't have to eat the same thing every fucking day. Your environment, again, like we can have that be flowy and free. Your perspectives, again, like you don't have to like think very linearly. That's why, like, even when it comes to maybe like plotting and stuff, like maybe we're not writing in like such a linear format. Maybe like you have this scene come to you and this, and like it, you start to, you're a puzzler and you piece the pieces together
Mm.
instead of having it be so regimented. Whereas for me, I'm all left. I'm all left. So it's the complete opposite of how I'm through my creative process. The only thing that we do want to get clear on is manifestation. So again, with everything being fluid, how it happens doesn't necessarily matter, but we just want to get clear and focus on what you want to create. Just get clear on what it is. And then allowing life to take you through the steps to get you there. But so like again, like that's why the vision boards are really great. We just want to get clear on what it is and get really specific on what it is we are working towards, and
Mm.
you can let life take you, and as long as we trust ourselves. Don't let ourselves have to have control over everything and on every little piece of how we're going to get there, but let life lead you there. How does this all feel?
It feels good. I love self-awareness. Anything that like can help nurture and like grow and like do things like my way, the way like I am designed to like operate through the world. Just because everyone is so different. So to have the like the knowledge and the tools to be able to understand yourself more And then not only that, but like how you're going to be most like successful, um, especially like in this specific like creative kind of way. I think it's really helpful. So I'm just feeling like very grateful and just like letting it all like sink in, and it feels freeing that it can look totally different rather than being like scary or like, no, that's not how I think I should be doing it. Like it feels good to like be like, okay, there's like another way to do this. And yeah, I guess I'm just like excited to take everything that I've like learned and things that have stood out to me in this and kind of like explore and play and have it feel more like, especially like it being summer currently for us. It just like there's a tone and atmosphere that's like lighter and like playful and wild and fun, and like I'm just thinking of like bright colors and very joyful as opposed to like snow and dreary and like which I think is where I've kind of been trying to like emulate.
Totally.
So I feel like
Totally, yeah, it's supposed to be so different. Yeah, we don't need to be, like, the moody like, we don't need to be,
yeah,
like, moody, dark academia girly all the
right.
time. I think there's a time and place. We love fall, but, like, we don't need to do that right now, like, it's summer, and yeah, like, we're just you're just so here to be just, like, completely free and just,
Yeah,
like, completely, like, autonomous on, like, what's coming through for you right now, right?
right.
And just because like yeah, maybe like the moody writer like worked at one time doesn't mean it's meant to work forever. And
Yeah,
like giving yourself permission to just change and do something different, I think is going to be huge,
yeah,
huge.
for sure.
I'll read the little last paragraph that I wrote for you, which is like the final creative codes that brings it all together, which is you are a soft visionary channel who is meant to move through with flow and intuition. Your creativity doesn't respond well to pressure, rigidity, or logic first thinking. Instead, you thrive in beauty, trust, and soul resonance. Create when your body says yes. Let your art be a living, breathing extension of your inner world. You are not here to follow the rules. You are here to dissolve them and make something only you could dream up. My little Pisces queen.
Yep.
Yay. Do you have any questions for me or like anything that you want me to like, yeah, just any questions and clarification on anything?
I don't think so. I think that was really thorough.
By the time every time I was watching this, my new website is going to be up and anyone can come and book a session with me. These are an hour over Zoom. I send you your charts and then you also get this beautiful, I think it's beautiful, but you get a beautiful PDF of everything written out as well. So you can just like Chris did here today, you can just absorb and just let it all hit you and not have to worry about like taking notes or anything like that. So yeah, it's an hour with me. You do need your birth time in place so I can look up all of your placements, of course. But yeah, an hour with me. We dive into all your things. You can ask questions. We can just riff on things and yeah, just make sure that we're creating practices that actually feel good for you. And yeah, you can book on my website meganunbound.com. Right now, they're a really special price, like in my opinion, very cheap. Just so like as a little celebratory launch. So that's limited time though. I think it'll probably only be like a little like summer sale. And then once fall rolls around, we'll hike it up a little bit. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and you if you're not subscribed, you have to subscribe to Megan's newsletter because she does send one out every is it month? Little
Yes.
monthly newsletter. And she has like the chart and everything and kind of just guides you through what season we're in,
Yes.
everything.
Yes. Every
She's
month I
really
do a
helpful.
little like astrology forecast for the month, which is really great because again as creatives, I just really believe like we are truly accessing energy that is otherworldly. I think we are all just tapping into I think creativity is intuition and those intuitive downloads are forms of creativity and that I think is directly impacted by shit that's going on in the cosmos and again different seasons are for different ways of creating. You know, right now we just entered Cancer season. We had the solstice yesterday as we're recording. So, like, that's a completely different energy than where we're coming from in Gemini, right?
Mm.
And so, like, also knowing that, like, we get to be fluid and have all these different, like, changes throughout the year compared to, like, you know, January Capricorn season where we're very, like, hermited and, you know, standing on business, as the kiddies would say. So yeah, I'm just, yeah, subscribe to my newsletter. It's completely free. And yeah, if anyone like really wants to like dive into all this, I love doing it. You can find me on my website, meganunbound.com. I'll link it below. Everything. But
Perfect.
Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for letting me do this and sharing all of your shit with the pod. I like really appreciate it.
Of course.
And yeah, obviously, when I send this to you, if you have any questions after you sit with it, of course, you let me know. And I would say I'll send you a recording, but this is gonna live on YouTube. It'll live on YouTube for everybody to see forever. So, okay.
All
Anything
right.
else?
I think that feels good. So we'll be
I think
back.
this feels good too.
We'll be back in our next episode, back to our bookish type program. But I hope you really enjoyed this episode. This just trying to change a pace for us, but it's really special. It's something that Megan really is like loves to do and is passionate about, and it's just like a part of her personality. And I mean that in like a very like the best way. Like it's like pours out of you. It's like part of like what you're I think put on this earth to do. So it's just really special that we got to share that with all of you. So
I love you. Thank you so much. I know I really appreciate it. I know it's different, but I mean, my hope is that like our readers that are reading along with us, I mean, I think everyone is a creative and we all
yeah,
have something to share. And so, and some story, song, work of art on our little hearts. And so, anyway, I can help our fellow creatives feel expressed.
totally.
Makes me happy. So, all right, until next time, we'll see you soon. Love you guys.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.